Hello. As a manager, learning that one of your team members has been bereaved by suicide is a significant moment. You might feel a heavy sense of responsibility to get it right, both for the individual and the team today. So, we're going to look at how you can provide a person centered approach and response that reduces your employees' anxiety and helps them navigate their return to work with dignity. We spend a third of our waking hours at work. While suicide bereavement is a personal trauma, its impact is felt professionally. Statistics show that 1 in 5 employees may be affected by suicide. By approaching this with sensitivity and flexibility, you aren't just being a good boss, you're actively preventing long term mental health deterioration for your staff. In the immediate aftermath, your priority is connection, not logistics. Send a sincere condolence message and then discuss with the employee, when appropriate, how they want the news shared with the wider team. Some prefer privacy. Others want the truth known to avoid the elephant in the room. Control over their story is the first step in regaining stability. UK bereavement law can be vague, often recommending just 3 to 5 days off. However, suicide loss is a major trauma. Wherever possible, use your discretion and speak to HR. Forcing a return too early often leads to presenteeism, where the employee is at their desk but really unable to function. Providing them with the time that they need really builds loyalty to the organization and long-term resilience for the individual. Before they return, have a conversation about workload. Grief brain, as we call it, is real. Navigating grief causes memory lapses and can cause poor concentration. So our suggestion often is a phased return or reassigning high-pressure deadlines to other members of the team or to a later date. Don't wait for them to ask for help. As a manager, proactively offer specific ways to lighten the load. When they do return, we suggest booking in a weekly one-to-one and saying that each time you'll ask a question like, "How are you coping with your grief this week?" The repetition of that question means that they can, over time, feel safe to share the impact that their grief is having with you at the workplace. And your instigation of that openness really goes the distance. Standard check-ins that we're used to, like, "How are you?" often feel a little bit too big to answer and sometimes a bit silly when you know they're navigating something really hard. Instead, we suggest contextualizing your questions. You could ask about their sleep or their admin or how they're getting on with workload, but you could also contextualize it to a time, like, "How are you today? How did you cope this weekend?" These specific questions show that you recognize the practical reality of their grief and you're making it easier for them to give you an honest answer. Again, if you have time to do that in your one-to-ones with them each week, it'll build that confidence gradually over time. As a leader, you set the tone for the team. Use accurate, non-judgmental language like "died by suicide." Using the name of the person who died, if they've told you it, helps normalize the conversation and signals to the employee that they don't have to hide their loss to be professional. Grief isn't a straight line. Support often drops off after the funeral, but grief is non-linear. And for suicide bereavement, the shock can last months. So be mindful of potentially triggering dates, birthdays or awareness days, even like World Suicide Prevention Day, where the messaging can be a lot. A simple message on these days, "and I'm thinking of you," costs nothing, but it means everything. You are opening the gate to support. So remind them that Suicide&Co offers a dedicated support line, an early bereavement support program, and 12 sessions of one-to-one counseling. You can signpost them to our online hubs as well, the Help Hub and Lived Experience collections. You don't need to be a therapist. You just need to point them in the direction of people that can help, and that would be us. Finally, remember that you are also navigating a difficult situation. Supporting a grieving employee is rewarding, but it can be taxing on yourself in terms of worrying if you're not going to do it in the correct way. The fact that you've watched this video will hopefully help with that. But use your own support system and check in with HR. By leading with empathy, you are creating a culture where everyone has permission to grieve. Thank you for listening.